As we all know, Hollywood loves a good, mediocre singer biopic. No matter how much we like to criticize these films, they always seem to be heavily awarded among each year's best films at the Oscars, with movies like Bohemian Rhapsody and Elvis being nominated for a slew of awards, the former winning the most out of any film from 2018. So, naturally, when it was announced that a Bob Dylan biopic starring Timothée Chalamet was in the works, it made my eyes roll under the assumption that it would be yet another Oscar bait vehicle for its lead actor to dominate with award success. However, since trailers started coming out and we got some pretty good reviews for the film, I went into A Complete Unknown with an open mind, hoping it would stray from the formula and deliver a more grounded experience than the two films previously mentioned. So after seeing it, I have to say, I thought it was pretty solid. I'll start with what everyone is most curious about, the performances. I thought everyone was pretty excellent here. Timothée Chalamet has been generating a lot of Oscar buzz for this performance, and I can see why. He absolutely nails Bob Dylan. One thing many people say is that Dylan is a very enigmatic guy who doesn't let much of his private life into public, so it's really hard to get into him. And Chalamet brings this mysteriousness to the role very well, always seeming like he's in his own world as he walks down streets and through large crowds. Chalamet also sings, plays the guitar, plays the harmonica live on set, and it's really just a joy seeing Chalamet nail the voice and find all of Dylan's mannerisms through these concert sequences. Among the supporting cast, Edward Norton as Pete Seeger leaves the biggest mark. Before seeing the film, I watched an interview with Edward Norton as he talked about Pete Seeger, how warm and nice he was to everyone and how he always championed such good causes. And Edward Norton really captures this well in his performance. He always feels like such a warm and welcome presence as he wants to push folk music far and wide so it can communicate important issues to many people. Monica Barbaro does a great job as Joan Baez. A lot of her performance is in concert scenes when she's singing, either by herself or with Chalamet, and she has such an excellent voice, which really adds a nice balance to Dylan's, which many people may not be particularly big fans of. I will say I wanted to see a few more dramatic scenes between Baez and Dylan. Much of their dynamic is played out through how they look at each other during concerts. The film could have used a few more moments with them between these concert sequences. Elle Fanning I thought was good as a fictionalized version of one or multiple of Dylan's girlfriends, but the writing for her character doesn't go any further than the stereotypical love interest of the great man that we so often see. Once again, that's not a reflection on her performance. She is good in the role. It's just more of an issue with the script itself. I have not seen many people mention Boyd Holbrook as Johnny Cash, but I thought he added a real spark to the film in the few scenes that he was in. While I am thankful that A Complete Unknown was not a birth-to-death biopic of Dylan's entire life like Elvis and Bohemian Rhapsody are, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's any less conventional. It goes from song to dramatic beat to song to dramatic beat, just like those films do. Where it succeeds more than those movies, however, is that it's not overly infatuated with its subject. Both Bohemian Rhapsody and Elvis paint their character in the best light possible, and A Complete Unknown is not afraid to show Bob Dylan as an asshole towards characters in the film. The film's visual style also doesn't sensationalize Dylan or his music. While there isn't particularly anything remarkable about its cinematography, it matches the more low-key tone of the film, stripping back all of the insane lighting, rapid editing, and sometimes nauseating camera work that is present in Elvis. The grounded look for A Complete Unknown not only works well for its subject, but is also just more pleasant to look at in general. Where the film loses me a little bit is how little it actually tries to dig into Dylan as a person. As I said, Chalamet is excellent, bringing the icon's mysteriousness to the role. The problem is that Dylan is just too mysterious and too distant to follow as a character for the entire length of this film. I know many Dylan fans will be pleased that it doesn't try to dig that deep into Dylan himself and instead options to inspect how he and his music impacts those around him. And to the film's credit, it really succeeds on this front. But as someone who is not a diehard Bob Dylan fan, I did want the film to go a little bit deeper. And because it keeps you at a distance, I could feel disengaged during some of the more dramatic sequences between concerts and between songs. And once again, I'm sure the story will hit well with Bob Dylan fans. I had one lady after the film tell me that she thought it was excellent and that she would watch it again. And that's great for those of y'all who want a story like this. I just wanted it to go a little bit deeper personally. The film being nearly 2.5 hours also kind of impacts this as well. You can feel like there are steps missed in the beginning because it's trying to get you to when he's in fame, but then it takes a little bit too long in that second act without really fleshing out his character, so it can really feel like most of the character development for Dylan comes in the third act itself instead of throughout the entire movie. So that's just something that will impact me, will impact those of us who aren't big Bob Dylan fans and want to really understand him as a man instead of just how he and how his music impacts those around. Overall though, while it doesn't break from the formula that we're used to with these kinds of films, this one worked better with me because of the superb performances and the more grounded, toned down style of the film as a whole. A Complete Unknown, 3.5 stars. That's it for my Complete Unknown review, everybody. What did you think of this one? Did you like this one more than some past biopics, or did you think this was just another stereotypical, bland, Oscar bait film? Also, I am posting this video on Christmas, so happy holidays to all who celebrate, and to those who don't, I hope you have a wonderful day as well. If you liked what you saw here today and you would like to see more, subscribe to follow the odyssey that is Oscar season.